Yippee-I-O in the centre of the line. They're racing now. He began okay, Yippee-I-O, but he dropped back to the tail of the field as soon as the gates open. All Our Mob and Broan near the inside began well. Ravada, Summer Bow well away, and Hello Dale's mustering speed. And Iron Horses coming down the extreme outside. Yippee-I-O is going to settle second last. To the top corner, 8.50 to go, and Iron Horse the leader from Hello Dale. Ravada third defence, Pakaraka Star fourth, and there goes Sapio quickly on the outside. Then Summer Bow, Broan, followed by Clear Rose, All Our Mob, Shame. Further back, Star Maker. Now Cassie about to go, and Yippee-I-O, followed then by French Resort. It's All in Fun, Shaskay, and last of all, Teltina. Coming up to the bend, and the leader, Iron Horse, Hello Dale in the middle, and Sapio went up to make a line of three from Ravada. Pakaraka Star to the outside from Summer Bow, and Yippee-I-O's giving them a fair start. Shame is running home. 300 to go. Sapio went to the lead. Iron Horse still there. Pakaraka Star coming home on the outside. Shame. And then came Summer Bow. Sapio and Iron Horse together. 100 to go. Pakaraka Star, Shame and Summer Bow. But Sapio got to the lead close to home from Pakaraka Star. And the NZ wins the cup. Sapio beat Pakaraka Star. Third's a photo. Iron Horse, Shame, and it's all...
Yeah, the winner's a 6-year-old stallion, and he hadn't raced since about the 13th of April, so it's a very good training performance by Sylvia Kay.
Yeah, after the race more than before. So, things went our way. I believe it was just a bit of overreaction from Pakaraka Star that was more the cause of the incident than actually Sapio.
Yeah. Why did he shift his ground, that horse?
He's got a history of it going right-handed. I don't know what it is. You know, it's not as though he runs away from the whip or anything like that. I believe it's just one of his little habits.
Well, one would have thought that, you know, this would probably be a nice lead-up race for the Brisbane Cup for him, but to walk away with the Doomben Cup's the biggest bonus of all time, isn't it?
Well, he wasn't ready for the Doomben Cup, so he's gone a hell of a race. Like, he's got so much improvement in him, it's not funny. So the Brisbane Cup looks ideal for him now.
Jim, what was the Yippee-I-O story?
Well, I was always a little bit worried about the track conditions, Al, after a couple early rides. You know, I believe there's a big difference, Eagle Farm to Doomben, in the way the heavy track is. And I thought today's track was very shifty underneath, and they didn't get a real good footing in it. Going out of the straight, I slipped bad. I'm not making excuses for him, but I wouldn't say he was 100% in the ground. When I come out and went to track up, I just done nothing but slip and slide.
We'll have a look at another Queensland derby.
Under his head, and with a few mighty bounds, he closes on the leaders. His jockey shows him the whip, but he doesn't have to use it. Vermborough, the champion, has the will to win, and does it easily from Tea Cake and Craigie.
Second spot, Karma Biting. Third from Vitaman. Fourth the outside. Then came Forgotten Hero, New Well, Elmer Zayun, Cash for Ashg. Marble Halter want to get a move on. He's under an awful lot of pressure and he is not getting through the ground around the turn. But the leader is, I'll tell you, Banner Headline. He raced away at the top of the straight. He's 2.5 Spirit of Oregon. Karma Biting pull to the outside. On the fence then is Cash for Ash and Forgotten Hero wider out, and now Mr. Brannigan running home strongly. Banner Headline in front, Forgotten Hero the outside's gone to him from Mr. Brannigan. Marble Halls is rattling late, Forgotten Hero the leader. Marble Halls is gobbling up the ground in the opposition. He swooped them and under double wraps and he's home. Marble Halls put up an amazing performance to win. Forgotten Hero second. Third either Banner Headline or Cash for Ash. And don't be surprised if we're looking at a Caulfield Melbourne Cup favourite there. Bubble ran home.
Richard, that was some win.
That was an outrageous performance. I've rarely seen one of ours do something like that. He was finished at the furlong and, in a traffic jam there and just came from nowhere.
He wasn't originally going to run in the Derby. He was to be set for the Caulfield Melbourne Cups. Could those plans change?
Well, we're starting to think seriously about the Derby because the horse is up and going well now. And a lot of things can happen between, the now and the springtime. He could have a paddock accident or anything, so probably smarter to take the money while we can, and he'd have to be the one to beat in the Derby, I think.
Can he win a Melbourne Cup?
Oh, that's a toughie. Yeah, I reckon he might.
Struth. Hey, Shane, the Queensland Derby Quinella will pay about $1.60. Yippee-I-O and Marble Halls.
But isn't it funny, John? 3 weeks ago, everyone had Yippee-I-O, a short price favourite, Melbourne Caulfield Cups, Queensland Derbies, odds on. This horse here shouldn't be entitled to start favourite, and I think looks the winner.
Yeah, can he win a Melbourne Cup, as Richard says he
definitely. No doubt. His win. I've never seen a horse do what he did. Damien ran into 3 dead ends on him yesterday and he still picked himself up to win. Yeah. It was just unbelievable, and it was a good field. It wasn't a bad field, that race. It was a good field.
And what do you think, Group 1?
Well, don't forget, he didn't handle the ground either. I actually taped that race yesterday and watched it over last night, and he didn't handle the ground at any stage either. So not only did he run into those dead ends, and then that acceleration in ground he didn't like, you've got to say he's a pretty special horse and should have the raps that we were giving Yippee-Yo-Yo a couple of weeks ago. That's as good a run as you're going to see from a horse.
The leader, 2 to Chief De Beers, Confiscate third. Malaguazin fourth, 2 Answered Prayers, 1 Mamselle Padrille. Fayonce the outside from Poetic King, followed by Kidman's Cove. 3 lengths Blazing Steel, then Captive City, Slicker and Rodway C. Up to the bend, 450 out. Quick Flick just in front. Chief to be a second. Malaguar to the outside. Confiscate next. Poetic King's picking up ground. Fayonce to the outside. And then Blazing Steel, 300 out. Chief to be is hit the lead. Malaguar, Poetic King are trying hard. Then Fayonce and Blazing Steel on the outside. But Chief to be has raced away inside the 200. Confiscate and Poetic King battling on from Blazing Steel. Chief to be is getting tied. Poetic King is finishing right over the top of him, and he's got him. Poetic King got up to beat Chief De Beers. Third, I think, Confiscate just in front of Blazing Steel, then Malaguar.
But my instructions today was to ride him how he wanted to be ridden. So really, I could honestly say I was just a passenger. I let him make his own luck and do his own thing, and it suited him today.
Never handled it an inch. He slipped and slid. Couldn't get a good footing in it. Come to the 600. He may have looked to have been travelling, but I was always slipping and sliding. Just never happy in the ground at all.
What do you think of Blazing Steel's run today?
Mate, I think it was a ripper. I felt the horse from the time I started making the move on him just past the 700. Every time I'd sort of move on him, his back legs would slip, and I'd have to balance him again, then move again, he slipped again. So I wouldn't take a great deal of notice of him getting beaten today. Dry track, he's a much better horse.
See the horse widest of all on the turn into the straight in the Woodland Stud, all cerise colours. That's Le Mans, which is racing as a gelding nowadays. Very good run. He keeps on coming. Al Mansour on the inside. Lance O'Sullivan. Emerald Zoff is diving through. Watch Le Mans continuing to get home. Gee, I liked his run from a Castlemaine viewpoint.
No doubt, John. Very, very good run. Also, Evader. He ran very well. He's looking for a Castlemaine, a mile journey. Yeah. And also Snar Dame, the Philly Eye Road. She's going to run in the Sires next week, and don't throw her out the window because she never handled the track one iota. But I don't think the first 2 home could win a Sires.
Yep.
Now Freehouse has the lead by a neck, and on the outside Silver Charmer second, Concerto 3 wide in third. On the inside, Touch Gold is fourth. Captain Bodgett, threading his way between horses, is now in 5th position. On the outside, Frisbee now is 6th. A tight pack as they straighten away in the lane in the Preakness. Freehouse in front. Silver Charm on the outside coming on to challenge. Touch Gold at the rail, and down the stretch they come in the Preakness. On the inside, Freehouse. On the outside, Silver Charm. Noses apart. 50 yards to go. Freehouse and Silver Charm. Captain Bodgett is flying. Photo finish. Was it Silver Charm on the outside? Was it Freehouse on the rail? Neither.
Well, owner Bob Lewis, trainer Bob Baffett, highly delighted after winning the middle pin of the Triple Crown. Gee, there were 2 super runs in that. Silver Charm got there narrowly, but the run by the 3rd horse was a beauty, Captain Bodgett. And what about the 4th horse, Touch Bold? Let's watch them come out of the starting gates. Watch the number 4. I don't know how that jockey stayed on his back. Now, this horse, watch it again in slow motion, number 4 barrier. An amazing recovery. Not only did he get back onto his feet, in the middle stages, he was up behind the leaders and he wound up in 4th place and got a check on the turn into the straight. Captain Bodgett, which finished a close 3rd, strained to 10.
On the front end, a wall of horses with Silver Charm between them. On the inside, that's Wild Rush. On the outside, here comes Freehouse, and Touch Gold looks for some racing room with McCarran, and he moves to the outside for the drive in the Belmont. Straightening away in the lane, Silver Charm and Freehouse, they're at it again. Silver Charm under whip with Stevens on the inside, Freehouse on the outside, and Touch Gold is 3rd, and down the stretch they come. 3 of them in a line. Silver Charm at the rail, Touch Gold on the outside. Touch Gold puts ahead in front. 50 yards to go. Touch Gold wins it by half a length, denying Silver Charm will finish second here.
A look of disappointment on Bob Baffitt's face, the trainer of Silver Charm. Full honours to the winner. You might remember, boys, he's the horse that fell out of the gates on his head in the Preakness Stakes before running fourth.
Should have won it.
Knocked a bit of sense into him, basically. What do you think, Ken?
No comment, Simon. I'm more worried about the Brisbane Cup tomorrow than the Belmont Stakes.
OK, another great international classic was run overnight, the English Derby at Epsom Downs. There was a raging odds-on favourite called Entrepreneur. Let's see how he got on.
Just down the straight to come, and it's Benny the Dip in the lead, Too Farish in second, Bold Demand in third. Here comes Entrepreneur the outside of Simmons in. Crystal Hearted is crawling up, Silver Patriarch.
Yeah, Entrepreneur only fourth. Benny the Dip lasted to win, ridden by Willie Ryan. That's the inside horse. Gee, the Grey found the line. What about Entrepreneur, Shane? He finished fourth.
I stayed up and watched it last night on Sky Channel, but he had a very hard run in the race. He was 4 and 5 wide in a field of 13 without cover. And really, you can't win those races when that...
Days in the history of Australian racing.
Simon, and she'll come into the race with a fabulous weight and I think very fit.
When you say very fit, you've obviously got no problems running out the 2 miles?
Well, you know, you'd like to have the races under her belt, but I've certainly given her plenty of miles on the training track and I think she'll be very competitive.
Nasserich in the Cup, 2 mile, they're your specialists. Your opinion?
Well, that's a different story. Nasserich is a peculiar horse, but... he's been pleasing me up here, and if he decides to do the right thing, he'll have a pretty good chance with a light weight. He's lightly weighted. He's by Nassapur, and but he's a very light-framed horse. But with the weight, he's got a good chance.
Darren, in the Cup on Monday, you ride Rover, trained by Colin Alderson. What do you know about the horse?
Well, I looked at his run in Adelaide and it was a very good run, and you can say one thing about this horse going into this race, that he has had a recent run over the 2 miles, so he's certainly going to be seasoned for the race, and he's only got 50.5 kilos on his back, so he must be a good chance if I'm getting down to that.
My next question is, what weight are you going to ride him? That's very light for you.
I'll try and get down to say 50.5. It could be a fraction over, but you got any tips for me?
Not really. Good luck to you.
Yeah, Wayne Harris knows a bit about wasting. Let's have a look at the closing stages of the Adelaide Cup, won by Shane on Cronus. Lord Ted was second. His Rover on the outside looming up. Chris Muntz is the jockey. Chris, he was going to win there.
Yeah, he was, John. He come into the race and I really thought he was going to blow him away, but the 2 leaders, they found something extra and they beat me fair and square.
Now, you had the chance to ride him tomorrow, but you've jumped off.
Yeah, well, I waited till last Saturday and I rode Desert Chill in the O'Shea Stakes, and he ran a great race. He ran second to Pakaraka Star, and I don't really think he was suited by the weight for age.
Where are you here, Chris, on Desert Chill?
I'm out about 5-6 wide and I'm coming to the lead, yeah.
There's a couple of good runs in this race. Shaskay and the white cap right down the outside with the pink colours finds the line very, very well. And also Alacrity, the horse I rode. She just come to the end of it here in the purple colours with the white cap.
Forget watching them. Watch Chris's horse. It's 3 lengths in front of the other 2. It's already won over 2 miles. You're hoping Shaskay can. You're hoping Alacrity can. This bloke's won a 2 mile race, going better now than he was then. No wonder you jumped off the other plotter, Chris.
Yeah, well, Rover's, he's been around a bit, you know, but as Darren said, he's had the run over the 2 mile, which probably should help him, but he's not a very big horse, and a hard run at Adelaide might just... mightn't have helped him.
I know you're not allowed to tip, but you reckon I should take an extra few bucks to the track tomorrow?
No, I think you're mad if you don't.
Good boy. You'll notice Brian Ogilvie has got Shaskay and Desert Chill equal favourites. He's brought Nazi Rich in with the sun shining in Brisbane today. It's a lovely hot day here in Brisbane. The track looks like being a lot better. Brian's got Nazi Rich into third favourite at 7-1, and he's blown Sapio out the gate because he thinks he's principally a wet track horse, and he and Alacrity are both at 8-1.
For what it's worth, I quite like It's All in Fun. Now, I said I'd never back it again after its run last week in the O'Shea Stakes. I didn't think it finished off the race. I'm going to give it another chance. I'm stupid.